Hello there YouTube, this is Stephanie, and tonight we're going to do a die cutting tutorial with my new Toto machine. Hopefully you guys watched my unboxing video. So let's get started, and we're going to use our A plates, B plate, and D plate tonight. We're going to cut out some Toto dies. This is the Ultimate Crafts die, this is a Spellbinders die, and this is a Sizzix Bigs die. So we're going to cut out all of those dies, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. So I want to tell you a little bit about the Toto machine. The difference between this and most die cutting machines is that you actually roll the roller over the plates versus you rolling the plates through and the roller staying still. So the first die we're going to cut is this actual Toto die, which is a pretty simple die. It says good luck. We're going to put our A plate down. We're going to then put our die on top. And we have the cutting side facing up because that gets it closer to the rollers. Then we're going to get a piece of paper. That's a little bit too thin. So we're going to use this piece of paper. We're going to put our paper on top. And then we're going to look and see what our book says to do. So for the metal dies, and this is for die cutting, it says we should use our A and B plates, and we should be a 6 to 8. And you'll see I wrote 8.5 there because my machine works better at 8.5, and I actually prefer it at 9 now. So I'm going to put my B plate on top. And if you want to keep your plates as straight as possible, flip them over. Don't keep using the same side so the bow doesn't stay on the same side. And we're going to turn our knob, and we're going to put it, I like to start at the highest number it said. So it said at 8, we're going to start it at 8. So the higher the number, the higher the roller is up. The lower the number, the closer it is to the plate, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to roll it across. Now our plates will slide, so I am holding them, and it's pretty snug at an 8, but it'll go. And you'll hear the cracking, and if you're a die cutter, you know that sound is normal. Although this is pretty snug, I don't really like it that snug, but I'm going to go ahead and go across because I can. And we'll find out that it actually did cut it pretty well. Okay, so I'm just going to take it off, and if you see, it's already cut it right on out of the paper, and it just falls right out, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do one more. We're going to put it down. Let me clean my dies out. We always want to do that so that the paper will cut out properly, because if we don't, it may not all pop out. So we're going to go ahead and push these out very, very quickly, and then we'll cut it out again. And this time, I'm going to put it up to a 9 because that's my preferred setting for my machine. It's not as snug. So we got our A and our B, and we're going to move it up to a 9. And then we're going to roll it across again. Okay? So here we go, and we're set at a 9, and we're using our A and our B plates. So let's go. And I'm just holding it. And we know the cracking is because it's cutting. And I love this because I can see right through the plate and see if it cut, and I can tell that it did. Okay, so that's at a 9, which is my particular favorite setting for my machine. And again, you'll see it just pops right out. So we're going to use a 9 for the Toto die. Okay, so now we're going to do another Toto die, which is this doily right here, but it's a lot more intricate. Okay, so on the video, Mel says that to do intricate dies, what you should do is use your D plate, which is a smaller, a thinner plate, rather than using your B plate. So we're going to try what Mel said. So we're going to put our B plate up, and we're going to use our D plate. Now, our D plate is a lot thinner and a lot smaller, so it's going to put more pressure because it's a smaller plate, okay? So my D plate is pretty warped, so I'm trying to get it straightened out, and we're going to have to lower our settings. So we're going to go down to that's at a 9, so I'm actually going to take it down to a 7. And we're going to see what a 7 does, okay? So we're going to roll it across, and we have again our A and D as in David plates. Okay, so it's okay. It's not super snug, but it's okay. So here we go. And it seems to be cutting the outside pretty well, but what we're going to do is we're going to flip it around, and we're going to turn it this way, and then we're going to roll it through again, because we can turn the D plate because it's not a full length plate. So here we go, and that's so the pressure from the roller gets in a different spot this time. Okay, and my D plate is pretty warped, so yours may cut a little bit better than mine, but it seems to be doing pretty well. Okay, so our setting again was on 7. We used our A plate and our D plate, and if you'll notice, they're falling out of the die. There's the center, and this is a pretty intricate doily die, and if you look, basically they all fell out with the exception of this one. Well, a couple of them, but they're caught on the little curly cues. So there's one, and this little heart. Other than that, it cut out perfectly using the A and the D, and it was on number 7. So that is wonderful. So now we're going to try, and we're going to cut out this Ultimate Crafts die, because I like different dies, because different dies are going to cut differently, and they may need different settings. So again, this is a little bit intricate, so what we're going to use is our D plate again, D as in David, and we're going to start with our D plate this way, and we're going to leave it on a 7. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to go across, and we know the cracking sound is just it cutting. Okay, don't forget, you always want to have your die facing up so it's closest to the roller. Okay, and again, what we're going to do is we're going to turn it around. We're not going to take it. If I pick it up, it may fall out because it looks pretty cut on the outside. So we're going to roll it back through again. And we left it on a 7 again with our D plate in place. So if you can tell, here we go. It basically fell out of the frame, and I didn't have to pluck anything out. Beautiful. So I like the D plate with a 7 setting. So this time we're going to try Spellbinder's die. And this die right here is pretty intricate. It may not look like it, but believe me when I tell you, it is. I have a big kick, which is the same as a big shot, and that die gives me some problems even with that. So here we go. We're going to leave it on 7 again, and we're going to use our A plate and our D plate, and we're going to roll on through. And don't worry about the cracking. We know the cracking is the sound, that dies make when they're cutting. And we're going to just turn it around. And I like to flip my plate over because it's so warped. But if yours isn't, you may not have to flip your plate over. And we're going to go back the other way. Again, I didn't change any of my settings. And it should always get more snug where both of the plates are. Okay? And we'll just roll this right on through. And here we go. Now here's the back of it. Okay. Now if you will notice, it did not cut the flowers right here, but they cut right here. Now that could be because my plate is warped, or it could be the pressure wasn't that great. So we're going to do this one more time, and I'm going to hurry, I promise, so that this video won't be super duper long. Hopefully you guys will stay with me. But Georgia at Georgia's Crafty Creations said that she learned from someone else, if you would put a sheet of paper down, then put your die down, And then go ahead and cut it as you normally would. And this time I'm going to use, let's see if I can find a piece. Here we go. We'll use this piece of paper. And we're going to use our D plate again. And I'm going to leave it at 7, okay? We're going to leave it at a 7. Even with that piece of paper, it'll be snug, but we're going to leave it at a 7. So let's see what we get at a 7, okay? Yeah, it's pretty snug because of that other sheet of paper, but it's okay. All right, and then we're going to try and turn it around. It's pretty cut out, so I don't know. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to go back. Again, we left our settings at a 7. I'm just going to tear off these pieces of paper because, about to mess up. They don't matter anyway. Pretty snug, but again, remember my plate is pretty warped. Okay. Now let's see what we get. We used Miss Georgia's Crafty Creation Secret, adding the 1 sheet of paper underneath. And this time it looks pretty good. I mean, it just came right out. And we didn't change any of our settings. And I'm just poking out the flowers. And I don't know. Oh, here's my poking tool. I was about to say I just had it. What happened to it? So let's get this poked out so you guys can see. And I'm not going to hold you too long. I mean, it just kind of came right out. So if you add 1 sheet of paper underneath, you can leave your settings the same and use your D plate, and you will have much better results. So now we're going to do, last but not least, we're going to do a big a Sizzix die. So we take our plate out of the bottom because this comes out, and you replace it. We got to put our A plate down first. Now we're going to get our book, and for the thick foam dies, we need an A and a B, and our settings should be between a 3 and a 5. So we got our A plate, and we have our die, and we're going to use this sheet of paper this time. And then we need our B plate, and we got to change our settings. It said between 3 and 5, and again, I like mine to start at the high number, so we're going to start at a 5. Remember, the higher the number, the higher up the roller. Okay, so let's get rolling and see what we get with this Sizzix Bigs die. And as you hear it, it's snug as if you had the full-size plate on there. And I can see already that it cut. So here's the windowsill, because it's the Sizzix window die. And here's the window. I think I had paper still, some shreds of paper. Now, if you'll notice, the corners, I probably could have put 8.5. I mean, I'm sorry. I had it at 5. I could have probably put it at 4.5, but it still cut out. So that's our tutorial for die cutting with our Toto machine today. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And we will be posting more tutorials using our Toto machine. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.